Hello everyone. Today we're gonna learn about the tissues of human body. Okay, there are four types of tissues: connective tissue, epithelial tissue, muscle tissue, and nervous tissue. We're gonna talk about epithelial tissue today. This is one of the main tissues of the body. This may look like simple one, but it has very important role because it covers, it protects and secretes in many parts of the body. Okay, so we'll learn about epithelial tissue in detail today, and then later we'll cover all other topics. So first of all, what is an epithelial tissue? So an epithelial tissue forms sheets that covers the body in many parts. Okay, so the cells of epithelial tissue are connected to each other by protein connectors. So where are the protein connectors? They are in the plasma membrane of the cells. So these cells are closely packed because they do not have any interstitial fluid between them. And then the epithelium lack blood supply. So from where they get the nutrients and oxygen? From the underlying connective tissue. See, this is connective tissue, and then you have a basement membrane, and then you have epithelium. So they do not have blood supply, but they'll get their nutrients and supply from the underlying connective tissue. Okay, good. Next is the shapes and arrangements of the cells. First we'll learn about the shapes, and then we'll talk about the arrangements. Okay, there are four main shapes. These are squamous, that is like a scale. Okay, and then you have a cube shape, that's cuboidal. And then you have a column shape, they are taller than it's wider. And then there's transitional shape that vary in size. Okay, they take various shapes. Four types. And then the arrangements: simple and stratified. You have to remember two words: simple and stratified. What's simple? So simple is single layer, stratified is multiple layers. That's the main difference. So if you want to keep that things in mind, just see, this is just a single layer. It's super thin, flat. So because it's super thin and flat, it's perfect for gas exchange. Okay, and on the right, see, this is a thick, it's like a stacking of lots of bricks. So it's a strong one, so it helps in protection. This one helps with the diffusion, gas exchange, and this one is like protection. See how strong it is. Okay, good. So the next one we'll learn about, wait a second, squamous epithelium. We're going to learn about simple versus stratified squamous epithelium. So simple means one layer, stratified many layers, squamous is like scale-like cells. So it's a single layer of flat cells on your left, and then it allows diffusion and absorption. Okay, this is basically found in the air sacs of the lungs. And then you have stratified squamous. What's that? There are many layers, very strong, and protect against any injury and friction, and it's mostly found in the skin. Okay, skin and mucous membranes. Perfect. And then we have our cuboidal epithelium. So what's this? This is like a cube-shaped cells. Okay, it's called a cube squad. As the name suggests, they look like cubes. No. So, but these cells aren't just sitting around and looking cute. They are actually super busy doing secretion and absorption. think of them as tiny factories. They make and release important stuff like saliva, sweat, and hormones. And where do they work? They are mostly in the glands. Okay, there are two types of glands in the body. These are like exocrine glands and endocrine glands. Okay, so the exocrine glands, they need ducts, right? The ducts to deliver their secretions, saliva, sweat. And there are like endocrine glands. They do not need any ducts. They directly secrete into the bloodstream. Okay, so this is all about cuboidal epithelium. The next one we have is simple columnar. Okay, wait a second. Yeah, so the simple columnar epithelium, these are tall and skinny. Look at that, tall and skinny ones. One second. Okay, yeah, just one moment. Okay, yeah. Okay, so these are tall and skinny ones, basically like the basketball players. They are arranged in single layer. Okay, no stacking, just standing in a line. Okay, and then look at their nucleus. This is the cell, and they are on the base. Okay, they're mostly on the floor, and their job is absorption. They are like, let me take everything, I'll take that, and I'll take that too. And one important thing is they have these cells. What's that? Goblet cell. Okay, they have the goblet cells, and their main job is to produce the mucus. The goblet cell. Okay, the mucus or that slime, but that too, that protect the linings of the stomachs and the intestine. Okay, they're very smooth and protection. So their work is protection and absorption. That's what the simple columnar cells do. Remove the remember this. Look at they found stomach linings, intestine linings, respiratory tract, and reproductive tract. Okay. And the next one we're gonna study is the transitional one. Is it? No. We're gonna study is the pseudostratified epithelium, and they appears to have several layers, but they are actually a single layer. Just look at this. So how it looks like they might have multiple layers, but it's only one layer of cells, and that's actually touching the basement membrane. All of them. Okay, and their nucleus are at different levels. There's no one level for all the nucleus. Okay, this is how they look like. They have cilia at the top. Okay, that help mucus and they trap the dust. They have goblet cells, nucleus at various sides, and then basement membrane. What is the function? They secrete mucus that help to keep the surfaces moist and protected. The cilia move the mucus along the surface, which traps and remove all the dust, germs, the yucky particles. So what pseudostratified is, it's basically your cleanup crew. They help to clean up. Where it is found mostly in the lining of trachea and respiratory tract. Okay, where are the key players here? Mainly there are goblet cells and cilia. Okay, so what's the fun fact? It's called pseudo, that means false. Stratified means it looks like layers, but it does not. So they are faking the layers. Okay, fake it till you make it. Nice. Okay, next we're gonna talk about the transitional epithelium. Okay, so what is a transitional epithelium means? They have many layers layers of the cells. Okay, they vary in shape and size, and they can go up to 10 layers. The transitional means changing, so they keep changing their shapes. So when relaxed, they are mostly like cuboidal or round shape, but when they're stretched, they become squamous. Okay, they're like squamous cells. Where do you usually find them? They are in the urinary bladder. So when the urinary bladder fills with urine, they stretch, and become squamous. Okay, and then when you pass the urine, they go to their original shape and size. Okay. So their function is to allow organs like urinary bladder to stretch without tearing. That is their important job, that they do not tear. And then they provide the protective barrier. Okay, so do you know, when the urinary bladder fills with urine, the transitional epithelium spreads out and gets flat. That's pretty smart, huh? That's why you can hold it for a long time, and then do not let that tissue tear. Okay, that part tear. Very good. Next is, okay, I think we're done with the, okay, so this is the whole thing. This is an overview. You can take a screenshot. Let me just clean stuff, so you can take the screenshot before exam and then